Hello my sweet friends and welcome to DIY with Nadia. Today I'm making a Dollar Tree Easter Bunny wreath using the mini bubble method. Let's get started. To get started on this wreath, you are going to need this super sweet bunny metal wreath form from the Dollar Tree, some Deco mesh, and I'm going to be using white Deco mesh, and then something fluffy for the ears. You can either use one of these microfiber cloths. In my case, I'm going to be using one of these infinity scarves. I got this from the Dollar Tree during the holiday season. The first I'm going to do is the ears to get this out of the way. So I'm just going to put the little wreath form upside down and I'm going to cut my infinity scarf. The reason I chose to use this scarf is because I want to use both the front and this back of the scarf to kind of give it an extra layer of protection here. I'm not going to be cutting anything except the edge of it. The first thing I'm going to do is attach the ear to the fabric, and I'm just going to hot glue it right along, attaching it and just turning it in. I really don't want to cut anything here, so I'm just going to hot glue it right over, and same thing on top. The space between the fluff right here and the backing, I'm going to put more hot glue right there on the edges so we can seal that off. How super sweet and simple was that? If your bunny ears are touching right here and it's hard to put in the second one, just squeeze it really gently and really slowly. Just squeeze this part right here just to move it. In my case, it's okay. I can actually put a finger through here, but if you can't, just squeeze it very gently. And same thing with the second ear. The diameter of actual wreath form is 9.5 inches. Here it says 17.3 inches. It is counting the height, but the actual circumference here is almost 10 inches. It does have 3 rows right here. We're going to be using this middle row. The method we're going to use for our mesh is going to be a mini bubble method. For my pipe cleaners, I'm going to be using these silver ones. They're not really going to show when we're done with the wreath, except from the back. I just have a lot of these when I bought them around Christmas time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these into 3-inch little strips because we're just going to need so little of the pipe cleaner. So I'm going to just continue here folding the pipe cleaners in half and half again. We're going to overlap 2 of these Deco mesh rolls and of course make sure they are rolling down. I'm going to go about 1 inch in and gather. Before I attach to my wreath form, I'm going to make sure I have 4 of the side endings. I'm going to start from this top section right here. For this first connection, you can either use a zip tie or I'm just going to use one of these pipe cleaners. The pipe cleaners from Christmas are very strong and they have a metallic little connection right here. So I actually like using these. Before I move on, I'm going to grab all my pipe cleaners. It's always so much easier when you fold these in a little V or a little 45-degree angle, and then off you go. Now let's get started on our bubbles. I'm going to only measure off 4 inches, and I know that seems so small, but that's the point of this wreath, is we want to make sure the little loops are small so the shape of the bunny is just going to be kind of cute and perfect. I'm attaching my bubbles on the middle row, and 4 inches is going to be just enough to cover that inner and outer row of the wreath form. Here is my wreath so far. As you can see, you cannot see this bottom row or the top row. It's nice and tight. And as I'm going along, I'm kind of making sure that my little bubbles right here are stretched out, because I'm now going to be opening these up. This is basically going to be a kind of a tight knit kind of thing going all the way around. So as I'm making my bubbles, I make sure I spread them out from the inside and then attach. I'm done with my first section, and I just want to give you a side view to show you how small these little bubbles are. They are so cute, and of course they are mini, and I have 14 little bubbles in this top section, and I'm just going to continue going all the way around, making sweet little bubbles and just making it as tight as possible in the back. And you can make it as tight or as loose as you want, but because I did not paint this white, I do want to make sure that all of it is covered. So I'm going to keep my bubbles fairly tight and close to each other. I'm done with one roll of Deco mesh, and I have the wreath almost full. I have like 1.5 sections left. So what I'm going to do is I have some leftover mesh from previous project, and I'm just going to use that and continue on where the other mesh left off. I have my other Deco mesh finished this way, and I attached it to the second row. I'm going to go in and attach it to the first row and then continue making the loops on the first row so it overlaps here and I can make it tight. You don't want to connect them on the same row because you're going to have a gap. So I make my loop and I attach it to that second row. Now that your bunny wreath is all done, you could do a few things. First, you could put a beautiful bow. Now, it took everything I have in me not to put a bow on this bunny because I thought it would be just so adorable. And I have like this dusty pink I wanted to do it with, or this kind of like fuchsia pink, depends on what you're going for. But yeah, the options are endless here. Another thing you can do if you're just doing something simple like a bow, you can definitely put insides of the ear, and I would make them either pink or gray. What I decided to do is grab some greenery. Now you can grab whatever greenery you have on hand. This is some Dollar Tree greenery I have left over. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to first lay it out. I'm going to have greenery on both sides, kind of cascading right here. So I want some longer ones right there as close to the end of the ear as possible, just layering them. There you go. And I'm going to keep these on the sides in case I want to add a little bit more. But let me turn this around so I can actually see what I'm doing. Next, I'm going to grab my finger protector here, and I'm going to just hot glue this to the fur. And then this one I'm going to make just a little shorter. Next, it's time to pick out your flowers. I'm going to be using these felt flowers you can get during Valentine's at the Dollar Tree. But if you didn't get these, you can definitely use any flower of your choice. I just wanted to show you these ranunculus that I absolutely love. But just choose whatever you feel like and whatever is going to work within your color palette. Before I hot glue the roses onto my bunny, I decided to grab these little pearl garlands, and I have a pink one and an ivory one. I got these at the Dollar Tree during Valentine's also. If you didn't get a chance to get one of these pearl garlands at the Dollar Tree, you can also use some of these. And same thing, you could just put them right along on top of the greenery like I'm going to do with these pearls. And all I'm going to do is lay them out, kind of right there. And then a pink one. And I think another pink one. I don't know why, but I feel like I need more pink. So I'm going to find the middle between these three. I'm going to glue them straight in the middle and then put my dark flower right on top, right there. And these I can kind of lay out a little later, but it just gives this little elegance to this whole thing here. These two pink roses, I'm just going to snuggle to the sides of my dark one and hot glue in place. I am absolutely in love with this sweet little bunny, but now it's time to hang it. I'm going to grab a piece of jute cord and I'm just going to put it on this middle row. tie a knot. Make sure it's nice and tight. Hide the endings. And we are ready to hang this little cutie. As I was setting up to record this wreath, I got my microfiber and I also got that little scarf. I keep the scarf in this little box, and as soon as I stepped away, Leo made himself really comfortable because that scarf is so smooth and cozy. Look at this sweet little kitty of mine. Oh my goodness, I love him.